Tonight, I want to share a story with you. This story has love, family, betrayal, conflict, and a woman lying awake at night, asking herself over and over, should I give him another chance? My name is Luna. I'm 26 years old. I've been with him for almost 2 years. 2 years not that long, not that short. But in these 2 years, I feel like I've cried almost a lifetime's worth of tears. At the beginning, everything was beautiful. He was clean. He mopped and swept the floors. Whenever the sun came out, he would take the blankets and shoes outside to air them. He cooked well. He did more housework than I did. Back then, I thought I had found a treasure, a man who could cook, who loved cleanliness, who treated me gently. How many people find that? I truly believe he was the one I would marry. But love is never just about two people getting along. The first major conflict happened during last year's spring festival. He asked my parents about the bride price. He hadn't even visited them yet. My mother felt it was inappropriate and said to talk about it later. But he kept insisting, asking again and again. Finally, my mother gave a number, $168,000. Then he immediately asked, how much will your family give back? In my hometown, there is no such tradition of returning gifts. When he heard that, he got upset. He said the bride price was too high, that his family had already prepared a house and a car, and asked if the amount could be reduced. Unfortunately, my mother overheard that. She exploded. She told me to break up immediately. She said, if he's already calculating like this before marriage, how well do you think he'll treat you after? I was stuck in the middle, like a piece of cloth being pulled from both sides. I defended him desperately. I talked about how well he cooked, how clean he was, how considerate he could be. I listed every good thing I could think of. That's how the situation was barely calmed down. Looking back now, I was already cleaning up after him back then. But I didn't understand. I thought I was protecting love. This National Day, I brought him home to meet my parents. I had already visited his family earlier in the year. So this time it was his turn. I reminded him again and again. This meeting is very important. Please make a good impression. You can cook a dish, pay attention to details, help out with chores. He said, I'm going as a guest. Guests don't do housework. I couldn't argue with him, so I let it go. At my home, my mother asked about his housing plans. She hoped for a fully paid home, even a second-hand one would be fine. He said he planned to buy with a mortgage. She asked who would pay the mortgage. He said, my parents will. At that moment, my heart sank. Then, right in front of my family, he gave me attitude, something my mother noticed immediately. Later, she told me privately, he's not suitable. Break up. When we went to see my father didn't talk much, and he didn't try to start a conversation either. There was almost no interaction. He was even playing games. I was the one who had to ask my father to talk to him. As for the red envelope, my father didn't even want to give one. I insisted. When we left, he thought everything had gone well because my mother gave him a red envelope. I introduced him to my friends. We bought clothes. My father gave him money. He thought he had performed well. What he didn't know was that in my parents' eyes, every one of those moments was a deduction. And what he didn't know was how exhausted I was. Between him and my family, I felt like a string about to snap. In the second year, we started living together. We split the rent. He paid for utilities. And then he changed. We talked less and less. He cooked less often. He showed less respect to my family. My younger sister visited me 3 times. Every time, their interactions were unpleasant. He was immature. He provoked her, acted childish, and gave me attitude. My sister didn't like him. To be honest, neither did I the version of him he had become. Last December, I brought up breaking up for the first time. He said he would change. He said he had changed because of stress from work and taking care of a dog. I believed him. This year, I brought it up again. This time, I packed everything. I was ready to leave after saying what I needed to say. He cried. I cried too. For a whole week. I talked to him every day about everything that was wrong. Why I wanted to leave. By the end, we were both completely drained. Last Sunday, I called my mother and asked if she could give him another chance. I said he had changed. She said, never. After I hung up, he cried so hard he could barely breathe. He said he could buy a fully paid second-hand house in his name. If I wanted to add my name later, I could contribute by buying furniture. He said my parents would always be welcome to stay. He said we could go house hunting together. Now, every day after work, he cooks. He buys me snacks. He walks with me. He spends time talking with me. He said he truly loves me. He said he has already prepared the money for the 3 golds. He said he is willing to earn my parents' approval if I'm willing to bring him to see them again. And now, I'm deeply conflicted. Has he truly grown? Or is this just temporary change? If I give him another chance, will he go back to who he was before? At this moment, my best friend said something. She said if I break up, she can introduce me to her cousin, a man who served in the military for 12 years, owns a house in his hometown, and is 3 to 4 years older than me. Her mother likes me too. You see, life's crossroads are always this dramatic. On one side, a 2-year relationship and a man I'm unsure whether to give another chance. On the other side, a completely new possibility, a man others consider a better option. There's one more thing I haven't mentioned. He lied to me about something important. He told me I was his first dot, but I checked his phone, and I found out I wasn't. I was a virgin. He wasn't. He said he lied because he liked me too much and didn't dare tell the truth. I still can't get over that. People often ask me, if he treats you like this, why can't you let go? I thought about it. Maybe it's those small moments. The sunlight on the floor when he mops. The smell of sun-dried blankets dot the warmth of food he cooks. He does more housework than I do. He loves cleanliness. He cooks well. But is that enough? Is that enough for me to ignore his disrespect toward my family? Enough to forget that he lied to me? Enough to bet my future on him? She asked me 3 questions. First, should I give him another chance? Is his change real or just temporary? Second, if we stay together and he refuses to share his income, how should we manage finances after marriage? Third, if we break up, should I tell my next partner that I've lived with someone before? Tonight, I want to give you my answer, and also to everyone going through the same struggle. There's a concept in psychology called crisis-driven change. When a person is about to lose something, they can show incredible motivation to change. But this kind of change often only lasts as long as the crisis exists. Once the crisis is gone, once security returns, people tend to snap back like a rubber band. Right now, his cooking, his attention, his effort, these are responses to the crisis. The real question is not whether he can do these things now. It's whether he will still do them when the relationship becomes stable again. True change is not measured by how desperate someone becomes when they are about to lose you. It's measured by how they treat you when they already have you. Your parents don't see the same man you see. They see someone who negotiates conditions before even entering the family. Someone who shows attitude in front of elders. Someone who shifts responsibility onto his parents. They are not against your happiness. They are using decades of life experience to protect you from risks you can't yet see. You said he disrespects your family. That is not a small issue. Respect is not a skill, it's a mindset. If he doesn't believe your family deserves respect, that belief won't magically change after marriage. And behavior follows belief. So what is it that you can't let go of? The relationship? Or those small, warm moments? Try this exercise. Write his strengths on the left. He cleans. He cooks. He takes care of the home. Write his flaws on the right. He lied. He disrespects your family. He fails at critical moments. Then ask yourself one question. If for the next 30 years, he keeps all the good but never changes the bad, can you accept that? Because changing a person is much harder than choosing a different one. Should you give him another chance? If you want my honest answer, a relationship that requires you to constantly explain him to your family, clean up after him, and convince yourself that he will change is probably not the kind of love you truly want. Love should not exhaust you like this. As for finances after marriage, you haven't even aligned on marriage yet, and you're already discussing money management. That itself shows a lack of shared understanding and trust. There is no perfect financial model, but there is one prerequisite. You must be on the same page. Right now, you're not. And about telling your next partner about your past, a mature person will not reject you. Because you had a past. If someone cannot accept where you've been, they don't deserve where you're going. But I understand your hesitation, because beneath that question is something deeper. You're afraid of being judged, afraid of being labeled. But your worth has never been defined by how many relationships you've had or who you've lived with. You deserve to be fully loved, including your past, including your doubts. Some people say love is a gamble. You bet your time, your youth, your heart on an uncertain future. But I want to tell you, this healthy love should not make you feel like a gambler. It should feel like a tree, rooted, growing, steady. You don't have to check it every day to see if it's still alive. You just know it is. You are too tired in this relationship. So tired that it takes a whole week just to say everything. So tired that you're constantly torn between him and your family. So tired that you're stuck in this question. Should I give him another chance? Sometimes letting go is not because you don't love anymore. It's because you're too exhausted to keep loving. You're only to 6. Your life has more than one option. Your friend's cousin or someone else in the future, it doesn't matter. What matters is whether you have the courage to walk out of a relationship that drains you, to step into the sunlight and breathe again. You deserve to be loved well, not a love that requires constant explanation, compromise, and justification, but a love that feels safe, steady, and certain. So tonight, I leave you with one question. If a relationship makes you lose yourself more and more, is it love or is it a lesson? Good night. May you be treated with gentleness.